Well, welcome to week 3 of the Beatitudes. We have been working on 2 Beatitudes each week as we're diving into the spiritual meaning of these Beatitudes, not just the written word as have been interpreted and talked about over the years, but using the Beatitudes as spiritual discernment, using them as contemplation, taking them within us to see how they speak to us and how they can open us up so that we can live more fully into our theme of this month. And the theme of this month is beingness, that is living that divine essence that is you and bringing that into the world, into your life, into your everyday moment. Now, over this last couple of weeks, I've been asking people to send in your interpretation, what your Beatitudes would be for each one of them. What are your affirmations? What works for you? And I'm so excited because I've received so many emails of your Beatitudes. It's fantastic. I think we're going to do a whole service just on talking about them, or maybe bring them into a time of one of our Zoom meetings. But it's so amazing and inspiring to really see what's becoming alive in you and how you interpret it, because that's really the important part. It's not so much what the words say; it's how do we internalize it and what do they mean to us. And how can we live from that beatitude? And what I've discovered is that beatitudes are for everybody. You know, as Brenna said at the beginning of the service, we are a spiritual movement that is open and welcoming and inclusive and affirming. It doesn't matter, whatever your race, whatever your gender identification, whatever your sexual orientation, whatever your religion is, wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And wherever you are in your spiritual journey, these are universal truths that can apply to you. There's nothing that you need to do in order to understand them or to live from them other than to take them within and really discern, how does it show up for you? And how can I live from that experience? So one person said, it's like doing the Beatitudes challenge. So instead of pouring a bucket of ice water over your head, you're pouring a bucket of Beatitudes. Anyway, it's a wonderful opportunity. So take the Beatitudes challenge. You can go back and listen to previous talks, or just take the Beatitudes into your time of prayer and discernment to listen to what it has to say to you. So this week, we're on to the next Beatitude, number 5, which is, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. So the first question is, what does mercy really mean? What does that entail? How can we look at that? And one of the dictionary definition, and one of them is compassion or forgiveness shown towards somebody. When we can show our compassion towards somebody, or our forgiveness towards somebody, or have that sense of forgiveness within us. And now typically mercy is done or expressed, or the idea is after someone has done you wrong, right? Someone did something and you have to show them mercy. So you're not going to, you're not going to make them suffer. You're not going to, inflict injury or damage upon them or harm upon them. And I think there's a much deeper meaning to that. Certainly, there's the idea of showing compassion. There's the idea of showing forgiveness. But forgiveness is really not so much something that you show. Forgiveness is an internal practice. Forgiveness is an inner letting go of the story and the meaning that we've created out of the situation, out of whatever's happening around us, whether it's something said or did, whether it's this shelter and grace situation that we're in, whether it's a cough or a sneeze or something that's going on within us. Forgiveness is a letting go, an inner letting go of the power that all of those things have upon us. Because the only power that they have upon us is the power that we give them. And so when we show mercy, we have to first take back our power, let go of that idea or that thing, that story, that belief, and then reaffirm our wholeness in that situation. And that's what true forgiveness is. And when we come from that place, that's when we are expressing this idea of mercy. That's when we're expressing that idea of gratitude and gratefulness from us. The other idea is that idea of compassion. And some people like to look at mercy instead of, blessed are the merciful, blessed are the compassionate, for they shall have compassion and upon them. And so compassion is another idea of showing kindness, caring, and a willingness to help others. A willingness to put yourself out there to support our fellow human being, a willingness to support somebody in times of need, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through lifting boxes, whether it's through whatever's going on in your life. That compassion is our ability to support somebody through it in a healthy way. Of course, having healthy boundaries. Where compassion goes astray is when we become the fixers trying to fix everything, or when we become a little codependent and try to live into whatever their pain or suffering is, trying to be a kind of amplify that pain or suffering rather than giving somebody a sense of calm and peace. So mercy can be looked at as compassion, kindness, caring, and a willingness to help others. And I think one of the keys here is being true to that compassion. That is, it's healthy, compassionate words, healthy, compassionate deeds, backed up by healthy, compassionate thoughts. So when we combined deeds, for example, or compassionate acts or compassionate words with ideas or thoughts of anger, with ideas or thoughts of fear or sarcasm, whenever in the back of my mind, we have some of that limitation, it's not true compassion and it's not true mercy. And so what we're doing is we're expressing that anger and frustration from our heart, as well as the words of being compassionate. So it's really important for us to recognize that idea that we are forgiving, we are letting go of whatever transgression we feel is upon us or whatever story that we're having, so that we can get to a point of being truly compassionate, being truly grateful, being truly a joyful presence in the world. Now, there's a deeper meaning to this beatitude besides just the idea of mercy. For they shall be shown mercy. Because if you look at it from the perspective, from a meta level, you're saying, if I'm compassionate, if I'm merciful, if I'm kind, then I will receive compassion, mercy, and kindness. That's the underlying message. That which I give to the world is what I receive from the world. In Unity, we call that our third principle, the law of mind action. That which we think, that which we say, and how we act is into the world at that core level, at that heart level, at that emotional level, at that energetic level. That which we give to the world is how we receive in the world. So you can look at this as really that this beatitude is as that idea of the cycle, or the circulation of energy. The idea of being that channel through which energy comes through and expresses through. The idea of receiving that love and being able to express that love in different ways as well. So the deeper meaning beyond the words is this principle of circulation. This principle of as we give, so shall we receive. As we sow, so shall we reap. As sometimes we weep, sometimes we laugh, but it depends on what you're sowing, and it depends on how you're harvesting. So what we need to do is make sure that we align our thoughts and our words and our actions with that principle, so that we are in alignment with this law that is being expressed through this beatitude. One of the most, I think, for me, just really the word or the definition of mercy that really speaks to me came from Charles Fillmore in The Revealing Word. Charles is the co-founder of the Unity movement. And he defined mercy as this: mercy is Christ-like treatment. So first, there's that word Christ. That gets us a little anxious sometimes. It's that Christ potential within us. It's that divine, that divineness in us, that spark of divinity, that higher consciousness. However you put it, when we apply that or give that gift, to give that energy of that divine potential within us to someone else as we're expressing that. So that Christ-like treatment, that divine energy treatment, is the spiritual realization of God's truth for oneself and for another. It's a spiritual process or prayer by which we receive the healing power of the universe. And so that treatment is that sharing of that energy from that higher consciousness, of bestowing that energy upon someone else, on blessing that energy upon someone else, and coming from that pure state of being where we're holding for ourselves and for others that idea of that divine potential within us. What an amazing gift when you think about it. When I'm giving that energy to somebody, that spiritual treatment. He goes on to say, giving that spiritual treatment towards suffering, the important point in desiring to be merciful is righteousness or righteous adjustment. Now, there's another one of those trigger words, righteousness, righteous adjustment. And the whole idea there is that we're rearranging our thoughts according to the divine order of that divine consciousness within us. We're bringing into our consciousness an exact correlation with God's perfect harmony in heaven. And that's that's what we define as heaven, when we're in alignment with that consciousness. And so when we're giving that treatment, that spiritual treatment, it is towards somebody's suffering, or towards to help somebody feel empowered, to help somebody raise their own vibration level, to raise their own consciousness, to raise their own thoughts, to allow themselves, to help them allow themselves to become aligned with this presence and power. And as a result, that is true overcoming. That is an overcoming that is dealing with problems of life, of spiritual understanding, and demonstrating over error thought and keeping spiritual laws. What a beautiful definition of mercy. A beautiful gift of holding somebody in that high regard as a divine being, holding somebody in that high regard as spiritual potential, and sending them a blessing, an energy of that wholeness, of holding them in that. And for Unity, that's the highest form of prayer. That's the highest form of prayer that we practice. That is when we are holding for ourselves and for others that higher consciousness, that awareness that we are one with this divine presence, that we have that, each of us has that divine potential within us. Each of us has that innate spiritual wholeness within us. Regardless of how we experience life or what's happening in this physical body or what's happening out there, we all have that innate spiritual wholeness within us. And when we come from that place and we bless each other from that place, what a gift we're giving to ourselves. And what a gift we're giving to the world, because we are part of raising the consciousness of humanity. We're part of creating a greater understanding of our spiritual nature on a global level when we do this, when we bless each other and when we bless the world. So blessed are the merciful, for they shall be shown mercy. In my time of contemplation, the words that I came up, the affirmation, how I rewrote this, and I'm starting from this idea of I am blessed, because I'm owning it. It's a part of who I am. And so I came up with these three. I am blessed when I express compassion for I experience self-compassion. I am blessed when I express compassion, for I am experiencing self-compassion. I am blessed when I forgive, for I am forgiven. And quite simply, I am blessed when I bless. When I give that gift to somebody else in that prayer, in that higher form of consciousness, that higher mind action, when I'm holding somebody in those thoughts, it comes from my own knowing that is true for me as well. And so each blessing that we give to each other, each energy, spiritual energy that we share, each prayer that we apply, each spiritual treatment that we apply is not only a blessing to them, but a blessing to us. I am blessed when I bless. And that brings us to our next beatitude. Blessed are those pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. Oh, let's just breathe into that for a moment. Blessed are those who are pure in heart. So what does pure in heart mean to you? What does that idea conjure up for you? How do you experience that? The idea that came to me most clearly is this idea of being single-hearted, of having my heart be single. And that is blessed whose heart is not divided, whose heart is in the unified whole. When it desires one thing more than other things, to live in the awareness, alignment, atonement, connection in presence. In that perfect alignment is a resonant field that is mutual. When you are seeking God, God is reaching out to you. So when my heart is single, when what I desire the most out of anything else is to know my oneness, to have that awareness, to become in alignment, to have that expression expressed through me. When that is my true focus, when that is my true heart's longing, when that is where I'm coming from, then everything else is added unto you. As was said in the scripture, as Jesus once said, seek first the kingdom of God, and all other things will be added unto you. So how would we put that into practice in our life? How would we take that into our Zoom conference calls with work? How do we take that to, if you're one of those people who are out and about working, how would you take that? Or if you're simply on the phone with a friend or neighbor or a family member, or if you're playing games with your friends, if you're online playing games with the Frandsens, how would that idea show up? How would you express that idea? That idea of being pure in heart. That as I'm coming to this experience, whatever it is that I'm doing, from the standpoint of, I'm here to express this potential, this divine potential within me. So in this example, maybe it shows up as love, as being open-hearted, being fun, being authentic. Maybe it shows up as having faith. Maybe it shows up as having courage to walk through something. Maybe it shows up in standing up for something that I truly believe is in the best interest of myself or my loved ones or the world. Whatever that is, whatever you're doing in life, come to it, approach it from that state of knowing that within you, there is this perfect place that you can draw upon at any moment of the day. Within you, there is this wholeness, this spiritual wholeness, this never-ending supply of divine idea, this never-ending supply of divine love, of infinite potential, that all we have to do is turn our attention and make the intention to live from that experience, to live from that wholeness. Thomas Merton once said, "At the center point of our being is a point of nothingness, which is untouched by sin, illusion, a point of pure truth, a point of spark which belongs entirely to God." That point within you is that spiritual divinity, that divine essence, that spark that is pure and untouched. It's untouched by anything that's going on around you. It's untouched by any interaction that you may have had with people, any argument that you may have had, any condition that you may have in your body, anything that may have happened throughout your life or you experience in this outer world, in this physical world. It's untouched by any of that. It is that true essence, that light that is within you. And it is that portion of you that when we put our focus on it and we make the choice to live from that in every situation, our words become more compassionate. Our words become more authentic. Our kind words become more authentic. We're not expressing words out of, well, I'm right and you're wrong. We're not expressing words out of sarcasm or disbelief or just trying to placate somebody. It's more coming from a place of love, from that divine essence within you and allowing it to flow, allowing it to be your guide throughout the day. And I think when we come from that space, it makes the beatitude before, blessed are the merciful, all that much more easy. It makes it easy for us to experience that compassion. When we come from that place within us of knowing that wholeness, knowing who we've come here to be, knowing the spiritual values that we want to express into the world, knowing that that's who I am and grounding ourselves in that. When we ground ourselves in those ideas of who we want to be, of who we've come here to be, of how we want to express into the world, when we put some focus and energy into doing it, when we put some devotion into doing that, we can be in any situation and not feel diminished. We can be in any situation and immediately experience forgiveness, for we're letting go of whatever it is that's triggering us, letting go of whatever the stimulus was out there, letting go of the power that we've given it in the past, so that it no longer has power over us, so that we let that go and know our oneness with this divine essence. When we're truly forgiving ourselves, when we're truly stopping the blame, shame, and guilt train, when we're not allowing that inner blame or inner shame to drive our behaviors, when we're noticing it, taking a moment to write the course. I think so often we come to this understanding of this belief that, well, we have to be perfect. You're perfect in that divine essence that's untouched. And whenever anything happens outside of that, which is a lot of the time, sometimes our ego gets involved. Sometimes we get a little excited. Was I heard? Did somebody hear me? Can you repeat what I just said? When we can let go of that and just take a breath and allow that divine love, that harmony to come forward, then we can be that harmony. We can bring that expression into the world. We can bring that mercy into the world. When we give from our heart, when we give of our heart, when we're giving from that space and blessing other people from that space, what an amazing gift we're giving to each other. What an amazing gift we're giving to ourselves. And what an amazing gift we're giving to the world, to the collective consciousness, as we're raising the bar, as we're raising the average, as we're raising each other, knowing and expressing our oneness. It is truly a gift of heart. Keeping our hearts single, we give the great gift of expressing and experiencing oneness to the world. Let's take that into our time of meditation and prayer. I'll invite you to just take a moment to relax yourselves. If you are sitting in a position where your feet are on the ground, then feel your feet on the ground. Wiggle your toes and feel yourself grounded into the earth. I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or simply soften your gaze as we move into an experience from the outer into the inner realm of that untouched presence within us, that divine spark. I invite you to open your hands, to allow them to be free of anything, to wiggle your fingers to allow them to relax, and allow your shoulders to relax a little bit more as we ground ourselves into the earth, into the energy of this wonderful planet. And we breathe into this present moment. With each breath, we allow ourselves to relax. Whatever thoughts that we're having, we just let them float by. We don't give them too much worry, too much attention. Just allow them to drift by like clouds in the skies. Bless whatever thoughts are coming, and return your attention to your breath. And as we breathe, I invite you to feel your heart space expanding. Feel your heart expanding with appreciation for life. Feel your heart expanding with gratitude for life. Allow that energy of your heart to expand, to surround your body, to extend beyond this room, to radiate from you that divine flow of life. with this sense of gratitude, with this radiant energy flowing out from you, I invite you to bring to mind those people who you truly love and surround them with your energy of light, of love, of divine wisdom, divine intelligence. Sending that energy and surrounding them with that love. Imagine them uplifted. Imagine the spark of divinity within them shining brightly, receiving your love. See them realizing their divine potential, their spiritual magnificence. And now extend this energy out into the world to all of your acquaintances, all of your colleagues, all of your neighbors. Surround them with your love, with this divine healing energy, with this harmonizing energy. There may be some in there that you don't like so much. And so bring to mind the idea of forgiveness. Letting go of that power that you're holding on to. Letting go to the power that you're granting it, whatever the situation is. And replacing it with harmony, with compassion and kindness. And now expand your awareness to those people in your life that you are upset with, to those people in your life that you disagree with. And breathing into this present moment of gratitude, grateful for the awareness of your own unique divinity, your own divine power, your own ability to bless somebody else. We reach out to that same spark of divinity within that individual, and we bless them. Expand your spiritual energy to surround this entire planet, to surround every living being on this planet. For in every living being, for in every ounce of this manifest world, of this universe as God, is that divine potential. And so we surround each person, every expression of creation, with this blessing of love, with this blessing of divine guidance, with this blessing of knowing their wholeness, knowing peace in the stillness, in the silence. From this state of consciousness that is untouched by the outer, this spirit consciousness within us, this divine spark, we affirm our prayer treatment. I am blessed when I express compassion, for I experience self-compassion. I express compassion to the world. I am blessed when I have forgiveness, for I am forgiving. I am forgiven. And so I express forgiveness within and without. I am blessed when I touch the pureness of spirit within me, and I bless the world, for I am blessed. And so I bless, I am blessed. We are one. For this spiritual truth, for this greater awareness of this truth, and an awareness of how we can express it every day and how we can bring it into our lives every day, we are joyfully grateful. We are richly, richly blessed, and we say thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And so it is, sealed in truth. Amen. And with a nice deep cleansing breath, I invite you to return your attention to this space, to this time, to wherever you're at, and just allow that feeling of love to radiate from you. Allow that feeling of gratitude to radiate from you. I invite you to open your eyes when you feel comfortable and just see the world through that lens, knowing that we are blessed when we are pure in heart. For we see God. We see the kingdom of heaven. We see God reflected in every eye. We see God reflected in each other. What a joy. Unity Palo Alto is here to help you discover your spiritual magnificence, to help you discover that spark within you, and help you live from that magnificence every day.